I would like to add as K resolution that Steve Jovich has.
Actually, Jody, if we could, and I think in the best interest of time, because the residents here, if we could add that right before public comments, I think that would save a lot of time for people that are here tonight. Do it as 2A for everybody, and get it right out of the way, if that would be all right.
Then we go look for it, we can't find it. Because it's out there.
Just thought rather than, and if we're going to do that, instead of putting it way at the end for everybody, I'd rather move it to the top so everybody doesn't have to wait around.
I'll put it for A, like new business A, but we really can't put it under adoption of agenda A, because that's, like you said, it gets lost in the shuffle.
Actually, I mean, it can go anywhere you want on the agenda. I was just thinking in the best interest of time so everybody wouldn't have to wait here to get it out of the way.
Well, it would be in the board's discretion. If there's a practical consideration, of course, that would be taken into consideration by the board in making the decision. The board can put it anywhere on its agenda that it pleases. It's in your discretion.
I'd like to add to the agenda K resolution stating C above under public comments. So that we actually talk about it just after the public comments.
I appreciate it. After public comment? I would like to do it before.
I think it should go before, that way it
Make
might answer a
a
lot.
lot of difference.
There's, under 20, new business, township planner selection, is the rest of you comfortable with making a decision on that? I know Chris isn't here. With the holiday and everything, I didn't have a chance to talk to anybody about it.
I think at that time, after we come to that as an agenda item, we can address it then and table it if you're not comfortable. If you want to do that, it's fine by me. I would also like to add under L then, yoga classes. We've got a request that was made that Jeanette can speak to,
Is that for the seniors or is it?
partially on the senior program.
Do we have information on it?
Just what Jeanette has. Just a discussion point. No action has been taken. Any other additions or deletions?
Are we gonna talk about the township policy and guidelines manual, or is Chris gonna make like?
Once again, we can probably address that the same way once we get to it.
Okay. I'll make a motion to approve the amended agenda.
Support.
Motion by trustee Churchy, supported by clerk Keith. Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. 2A, Lenox resolution. Jody, did you determine the resolution number yet? I'll go ahead and read it, and the resolution number will be determined. And for the residents here, we're going to do this early so everybody doesn't have to stay late. Get this out of the way. Pardon?
Be 13-5.
Resolution 13-5. That's for everybody's information if they ever want to refer to it. This is a resolution that our township has come up with our attorney. And once again, we had a lot of residents making calls to us. We, from the beginning, stated what we were going to do, and we kept to that on finding all the information out. We didn't want to do anything in haste or without having the accurate information. And once again, we were not part of the initial process. So with that said, even more so when it involves us, we're going to make sure that we take a step back, look at everything, and make sure that our residents are protected. And I stated that numerous times. And that's actually the process we follow. It's real easy to stray from that and tell everybody what they want to hear right away and get the accolades but this is being responsible. And that's, hopefully people will appreciate that we did take our time, we didn't rush into it. We want to make sure we do the right thing and that all our T's are crossed, our I's are dotted. And that's what we have a township attorney for. And that's why we attended certain meetings, to make sure we knew what we were talking about and we knew what we were going to do, our plan of action. So I'm saying that I'm going to read this resolution. Afterwards, there still could be questions. I'm sure our attorney will address any, in general terms, and we still have public comment. So that being said, State of Michigan, County of Macomb, Lenox Township, resolution number 13-5. Whereas on July 9, 2013, the Village of New Haven approved a host community agreement with Original Environmental Services, Inc., RES, for purposes of annexation, a portion of Lenox Township, and installing a landfill on property near Gratiot, south of 28 Mile Road, in immediate proximity to the existing Pine Tree Acres landfill located near Gratiot, north of 28 Mile Road. And whereas the Village of New Haven subsequently rescinded its approval of the host community agreement on August 13, 2013, and whereas based on information that has been obtained in connection with New Haven's rescinded approval of a community host agreement, the area of land in Lenox Township that RES has proposed for the new additional landfill is identified on the attached map, and whereas regardless of the absence of a host community agreement, RES has publicly indicated its intent to continue to pursue an amendment of the Macomb County Waste Management Plan for purposes of installing the new landfill in Lenox Township. And whereas the Macomb County Board of Commissioners met on August 28, 2013 to discuss the process for amending the County Waste Management Plan, apparently in connection with RES proposal for an additional landfill to be located in Lenox Township, and whereas Lenox Township already carries the burden of one currently operating landfill in its community and a second landfill southeast of Gratiot on 27 Mile Road that is closed, and whereas the currently operating landfill in our community is one of the largest landfills in the state of Michigan, and whereas Lenox Township is the only community in Macomb County to have a currently operating landfill located in its community, and such as the residents of Lenox Township already carry far more than their fair share of burden in accommodating the trash disposal needs of the residents of Macomb County, and it would be unconscionable for the county to amend its waste management plan in such a way as to permit yet another waste disposal facility to be foisted upon the residents of Lenox, and whereas a landfill use is not consistent with the current zoning applicable to most or all of property, which is primarily zoned for residential and community commercial uses. Whereas Lenox Township has taken great pains to develop a thorough and carefully thought out master land use plan for the future development of its community, and it has identified areas of the township that are master planned for industrial and intensive impact uses, which include uses such as the existing landfills, state prison, mining, gas compressor station, and other potential uses under that category of land use. And whereas no portion of the area of land in Lenox Township that RES has proposed for the additional landfill are master planned for such industrial and intensive impact uses. And use of the property as landfill is not consistent with the land use planning for this area of the township, and now therefore be it resolved that the duly elected and current Board of Trustees of Lenox Township hereby opposes any amendment of the Macomb County Waste Management Plan that would allow, enable, or otherwise permit the placement of another landfill at the location proposed by RES or at any other location within the current boundaries of Lenox Township. Be it further resolved that the Board of Trustees hereby urges the Macomb County Waste Management Committee and Macomb County Board of Commissioners and Macomb County Executive to refuse consideration of reject any proposal amendment to the Macomb County Waste Management Plan that would or could allow, enable, result in, or otherwise permit the placement of a landfill at any location within the current boundaries of Lenox Township. Be it further resolved that this resolution does not relate to any proposed future expansions of the existing Pine Tree Acres landfill footprint in Lenox Township, but the township reserves the right to review and provide input on any such future expansion if proposed. That's it, nutshell. Being said, a motion is in order on that resolution.
I make a motion to approve resolution 13-5 of the Lenox Township dealing with the siting of another landfill in Lenox Township. I'll support.
Thank you. Motion by Clerk Keys, supported by Treasurer Ottenbacher. Any other discussion or questions? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. We appreciate everybody's patience in that matter, and it took us a little time to gather our information and get it worked out, but hopefully we'll take care of business the way we need to.
Thank you.
Saying that, public comments.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I wanted to get that out of the way first because I figured that way we could go home early.
I appreciate your placement, and I really appreciate, I mean, that's a very well-worded resolution. I think you guys really nailed it on the head for all of us. It's awesome. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you. After this gentleman, if you want, if you could, please state your name and address for the record. That's all right, no problem.
Robert Pennell, so I'm here.
Thank you.
Mark Colley, I live in New Haven,
Yes, sir.
River Oaks Drive. I think the only annexation that should take place is Lenox annexing New Haven.
That's sweet.
Comment, but I mean that sincerely, that to see leadership up here properly address an issue, do the research on it, bring it back to the people with the decision that was thought out professional is the way government should be run. And I believe that we're lacking that in the South there a little bit. So I'd like to pose a motion to annex.
Just a minute.
Stan Fryborn, during preview of New Haven. And first I want to thank the effort and due diligence.
Excuse me, please. I'm sorry, ma'am.
Oh, that's fine. I appreciate the due diligence that we just saw here today. Of course, we're not getting that in New Haven, and we hope to change that shortly. I think your voice and your vote is going to go a long way to helping all of us stop a second landfill in Lenox Township. None of us want to see it, but I appreciate watching a nice council action here. It's refreshing not to see the zoo that the New Haven Council meetings have become, and hopefully, fingers crossed, you'll see an improvement down south. Thanks again, guys.
My name's Jerry Bell. I live in Meadow Creek, where they proposed to put the landfill. I just want to say I feel much better that you guys are professional board that we're going in front of. I mean, like she said, I can't sum it up no more. That was a zoo over there, all these backdoor deals and all that stuff. I mean, but now I feel comfortable, and I think we're going to get somewhere with you. And I'm glad to be part of this township, and got to ride it out together. But you know they're not going to quit fighting. Thank you.
Any other public comment? Thank you very much for your comments. Approval of minutes, 8/5/2013.
I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes of Monday, August 5th, 2013.
Support.
Motion by trustee Turkey, supported by treasurer Ottenbacher. Other discussion, questions? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Sheriff's report. I have not received the updated report yet at this time. I will make a short comment to it though, and wasn't thinking to do this, but we do have quite a few people in here today. We've noticed a little bit of debris on some of our roadways. If you see anybody illegally dumping anywhere, any sort of debris, no matter how small, a tire or anything, please report it to the sheriff or to the township immediately with any information that you can get on it. It would be much appreciated. Thank you. Fire department report. Ladies. absent. Do receive and file. EMS report. Another receive and file. DPW, sir.
I would also ask that you receive and file, but I'll be more than happy to answer any questions if somebody might have.
Any questions for DPW?
Thank you.
Thank you. Code enforcement report.
I didn't receive that, I don't have one of the code enforcement. I do have the, animal control forms.
Okay. I know we completed that inspection card. Jeanette, you aware of code enforcement report? Okay. It will be in on Thursday, I'll make sure somebody needs that there report. Trustee department report? I don't believe Tom's here tonight either. Any questions for Tom that need to be relayed? Engineers report, sir.
You all have the report, if no questions, I will ask for receiving file, please.
Thank you, sir. Any questions for Mr. Safe? Library report.
That's another one that we did not receive.
There may be some confusion with the holidays and stuff, they probably thought it was in next week.
Exactly. Yeah, because a lot of times we put it off to the next Monday after the fact. Senior Center report.
We don't have that one either.
Supervisor's report. I can report that I've still been in contact with the Mucci Group. They are still planning on moving forward for development. They're still in phase of wrapping up the project that they have right now in Canada, and are probably going to be making a visit here shortly again. Just spoke to them 2 days ago, so they will be coming out again shortly. Hopefully, they'll be moving forward. Treasury report.
I'll make a motion to accept the treasurer's report.
Support.
Motion by trustee Churchy, support by clerk Keith. Any other questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Orders and bills.
New total, $682,133.32.
Repeat that one more time, please.
$682,133.32.
682, 133, and 32 cents. Thank you.
Difference, I took off a bill, because it was, we did up a statement, and this was like the receipt, and there was gonna be a statement, so I took it off because we didn't have the statement yet. And then the other one was adding executive copy. No, I took off executive copy because I didn't have the copy.
I'll make a motion to approve the orders and bills with a total of $682,133.32.
Motion by trustee Churchy, supported by clerk Keith. Any other questions, discussion? Deputy Clerk, roll call, please.
Churchy?
Aye.
Attenbacher?
Aye.
Keith?
Aye.
Trombley?
Aye. Motion carries. Thank you.
And the reason it's so large this month is we paid all debt on the North Gratiot intersection. Because this was everything wrong.
Thank you. Trustees report. Trustee Turchi?
Nothing really new. I've been keeping up to date with the proposed landfill siting, going to a couple meetings there. And at the planning commission level, it's pretty quiet still, but we are working on the rec plan.
Thank you. Clerk's report.
The only thing I have is, I just asked Steve if the resolution could be handed out, and it'll be ready for pickup tomorrow morning. He said he would like it all filled out before we hand it out.
Will they be able to pull it on the website too?
I can, after I get it all filled out, but
If somebody doesn't want to make a trip out, they can just wait for that.
tomorrow afternoon then. I think at the earliest for it to be on the website.
Thank you. Anything else? Thank you. Unfinished business. Meeting room sound system improvement proposal.
I didn't want to remove this from the agenda, but I do want to table it while we get prices on the gooseneck ones and replacement, just like these.
Okay.
So we'll look at it again next month.
Sounds good.
Make a motion to table the meeting room sound system improvement proposal. Support.
Motion by Clerk Keith, supported by Treasurer Attenbacher. Other questions? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Number 2. Former Township building discussion. Pam?
Last month, we had a discussion about this, doing some work over at the old building, to remove some of the interior walls, mitigate some problems that we got going on over there. I was asked to solicit some bids, for that work to be contracted out, and then also total demolition of the building. At that time, we indicated that because of the total demolition and, some of the electrical services that feed the park areas and parking lot lights, we would have to relocate those services. I did submit a couple different quotes for the demolition work as well as the necessary electrical work. Kind of depends on which option you go with, if you're just going to do the interior work or if you're going to do total removal. Excuse me. To date, cheapest cost that I have for removing all interior walls, $10,400. Or if you do the complete demo, we'd be looking at $57,600. $57,600. Just the, and I had a feeling this was going to work out to be that way, just the electrical relocation alone was close to $35,000.
Now, Kim, on removal of all interior walls, this is something you think you guys can take on, better cost savings for us?
Yeah, but it would obviously, because of the short work weeks, the smaller crew, this would something that I'd look at would carry us through the winter, fill gaps in our normal routine.
You only have 2 of these here.
Well, 2 of us would make it very, very hard.
How many hours do you think it would take to do it in-house?
Just straight working on that, or because there's always stuff that comes up that, just can't just work directly on that.
No, straight work, so that,
Honestly, I don't know if I can answer that. I could throw a number out there, but I guess.
What I think you're thinking is this is something that would fill the winter months with the second employee also.
That is correct. There'll be days, just for an example, we have a day where we have to do snow removal because it is the winter months. I can't just send one guy over there to work.
We have to have 2 men for safety reasons.
Yeah, it would be a lot safer and reasonable to do that.
I think we kind of got a round estimate of the time-wise though, to see cost effective. If we're paying them versus what we would pay the company, it might end up being less paying the company to do it.
And that was my thought.
But other than snow removal and stuff, what does the DPW do during the winter then, fulfilling the hours?
Like you said, we have any other third person that we would not be employed in the winter.
Just doing some quick figures on a normal work week, for that extra man's time. Even if it took 20 weeks, we're only looking at half the cost of what we contract to sell.
How many hours do you think? How many hours, if you guys just went over there?
Hardly, like I said, I can't answer that because once you get into it, you got years of remodels and different things that I've done. And it's not that we do this kind of work every day, so it would be really unfair, like I say, to me to throw a number out, I would be guessing. What would I like to see? I hope we can get it done within a 2 to 3 month period. Because obviously, while we're working on that, it's inhibited us from doing other things.
And you're stating even that it's half the cost?
I just did some rough, quick calculations, and I just took the gentleman's wage by our normal work week, times 20 weeks, and it came just short of $6,000 in wages, and that would be gross wages.
The other thing is though, if we use one of the companies, they're responsible if they hit
I'm sure.
electrical,
License
if
and
they
insurance.
wires or piping that
Yes.
nobody knew were there. I mean, we're kind of taking our DPW's license.
I think one thing we need to get out of the way, based on this cost, I don't think we want to demo the building.
Oh, I definitely don't know.
It's a very useful building and structure, we can still use it, and look at the cost for demolition. That,
Well, it's the electric that's changing, the electric that's gonna be so costly, so yeah, it is. The electric and the, that's where the T-bone line comes in.
I would feel more comfortable contracting it out. Because of the unknowns. Like you said, there was additions, there were changes, is there accurate blueprints showing where certain wires are, where certain pipes are? If they cut into a wall,
he's laid out the demolition.
I don't know. What does everybody else feel about it?
Whatever the board prefers. It doesn't matter either way to you, right?
Not at all. I mean, pretty much every interior wall in there, with the exception of one, are all non-load bearing walls. There are a couple of rock walls that are just basically fire breaks, if you will. As far as the plumbing, electrical, the HVAC, everything, once you remove the drop ceiling, it pretty much exposes everything. Plumbing is minimal within that building. Electrical, a little bit more so because of it being office space, you have plugs on every wall. Excuse me. So you can see those drops when they come down in. Obviously, you need to lock out, tag out the electrical when you're working in certain areas of the building for that reason. As it stands right now, water, everything is completely shut off. Electrical is minimal, bare essentials only. Then, of course, you have different ages of that building. The front part, I believe, was built in the late 60s, 68, 69, I believe. 75. The back part, I believe, was 88, 87. So you have even different construction techniques.
It's a pleasure.
How do you, Jody and Karen, how do you feel about it? I mean, both ways. Having the DPW, I'm just afraid of the unknowns. If it's gonna cost, if it's gonna add up, because we're gonna have to hire, keep on the third person. And is it gonna be only for when this is done? You know, and then what happens if we get snow every day? I don't know. Will this run into 6, 7, 8 grand to do versus having a company come in and do it?
I would feel more comfortable with the outside company doing it just because they have the insurance, the liability insurance, and we wouldn't be bringing on someone just because. Did they give us a time frame?
Excuse me, no, they did not.
But I definitely agree with Ron that the building is worth saving.
Yeah, that building would be very useful to us for storage purposes.
Did trustee Riscoy, did he give you any information on how he felt about this? Maybe
Give me anything on this one.
When you look at Blue Star Incorporated, if you look at the bottom, those are their alternative additional things. They look, 2 of them, it's stuff we can't do. The first one, do we need it in a survey on the asbestos? Do we know if there's asbestos in that building, or?
Excuse me, all the areas I've looked so far, I have not found it. And I believe that when those companies do these projects, they actually have a third party come in and do those surveys. So it's not a biased survey.
Yeah, otherwise they could just say, where's it?
Well, because it's an additional cost if they do it, so they're not gonna do it then?
I'd say they have to, I thought.
Yeah, it would be in our best interest that way. There's no, even for future, as far as what we were working with, what we were discarding.
Okay, so the 10.4, that includes that much, or what's it all include? All those things at the bottom too, or?
I'm gonna tell you, yeah,